What about it, YouTube? 10 years ago today is kind of strange because I posted a video that was quite popular and it was called Cremation of Fear. And I burnt all of my Alex Jones videos on camera out in the front yard, and I burnt, someone had given me as a gift that was disagreeable to me at the time, gave me a copy of the official 9/11 report, and so I burnt that. But it was called the Cremation of Fear, and it was a strange time. Actually, there was a lot of guys that were kind of creating a community that were. It was coming out of the Ron Paul era, right? So Ron Paul had a substantial, I guess, run for president as a libertarian in 2008. And a lot of guys at the time were what you would call, I guess, truthers and suspicious of government. And so at the time, everybody was listening to Ron Paul and listening to these gold bug idiots. And so a lot of people invested in silver because that's a lot more affordable than gold. And they were doing it as a precaution, a hedge against inflation, but also as a means of barter in a dystopic future that was being sold by the likes of Alex Jones and the rest of the characters at that time. A lot of them kind of hang around today. The late Bill Cooper was being regurgitated, who actually was not exactly Alex Jones' friend there at the end, but that's another story. And then David Icke was around, Jordan Maxwell was around, but mainstream you had Ron Paul, and year 2010, there's a lot of people who were breaking out of the disillusionment of Alex Jones and his just hyperbolic devil government rants. Devil government, devil government, devil government. And at the time, right, it to be patriotic felt like, prior to 2010, felt like you should be outside of the two-party paradigm. And so it felt like it was patriotic and it was constitutional to be a part of the Ron Paul revolution, the Lovolution. And I still have a coffee cup. Anyway, I can't remember how much I gave to that guy too, and went and campaigned for him and saw him in Greenville, South Carolina. But it was all for naught, and it was a different time. You have to remember that back then, new third wave atheism was coming into its peak. You had Zeitgeist being released. It was on the heels of Aaron Russo and his movement. Also at the same time, you had Chuck Baldwin in the Constitution Party, who unfortunately was overshadowed by Ron Paul, but I like Chuck Baldwin today and wish I would have known more about him back then. But Ron Paul was definitely the third choice. And so there was a lot of people that had become disillusioned by the Alex Jones hyperbolic devil government. And also they were starting to question the religion that had been sort of created around silver and silver investment. And so a lot of these people, Mike Mahoney, Schiff, is there a guy named Bill Murray, I think. There's a bunch of people, and still to this day, some of them are Max Kaiser. a lot of these idiots were pushing this crap. Even Alex Jones were pushing this crap. Silver to 500 crashed J.P. Morgan. That was sort of like a meme, and there was this awakening that was happening in the silver community. That it was an unfortunate awakening, but it was a search for the truth more than it was a search for confirmation bias. And I would say that Raw Dogletard was huge in that effort. Even at the time, there was Corey C., who did work in that effort. Some other people that back in the day, there was Silver Futurist. There was DJ Grooveline, who's now WCM Studios, I think he calls himself. And there was, I'm forgetting some of the names. Anyway, there was a number of people who were part of this discussion, and it resulted in people becoming realizing there was a run-up in silver. I don't want to digress too much, but it was an engineered run-up, and it's crashed ever since. And there was a big debate over paper silver, if you own these silver certificates like ETFs versus physical silver. And there's all kinds of debates. Is it good to buy silver eagles or junk silver? There's all kinds of debates. Even to this day, I'm sure the truth never be told, or truth never be told. Dwayne. Anyway, Dwayne was busted out back in the day, but he hangs on. Truth Never Told, Chris Dwayne, and his channel. Anyway, there was this awakening and division, and a lot of us had started to wake up, and even guys back in the day like Bill Still, who unfortunately became known as a Shabbos Zionist idiot, but anyway, Bill Still was the first one in his Money Masters series, and this goes way back, but Bill Still talked about how fiat wasn't evil, and so it led me on a search for, what do you mean? I mean, I've been told by Ron Paul that you have to have hard money, you have to have sound money, and that Ayn Rand and the rest of this crap is all about having gold be your money and worshiping it and making it an idol. And what's wrong with gold making it an idol? Oh wait, it's just a placeholder. It's just information. It doesn't need to be worshipped. It can just be fiat. Oh, but usury is the bad part. So that's where I developed my position now, was coming out of the Ron Paul era, the Alex Jones era, coming out of that disillusionment with investing in silver and that nonsense. And so there's today. How bad is the economy really? It's not bad. Okay, it's really not bad. How bad are people struggling even with COVID, even with rioting, even with everything else? Not bad. So why are people unhinged? Why are they showing their butts? Why are they having emotional outbursts everywhere? Right? It seems to me that that guy Yuri that defected from the Soviet Union is right. Is that the demoralized among us are too far gone to be saved. They've got to be written off as, you cannot reason with them, you cannot negotiate with them, you cannot have any kind of normal, rational discussion with them. They're completely unhinged. They're emotionally blocked from even having a discussion. And all it takes is for them to have the idea that you have a different idea than them. That's all it takes. It doesn't take anything else. So as soon as you fall into outside of their mind space, you become cancel culture, you become toxic, you become legacy, you become on the wrong side of history, right? So there is no discussing it with these people. So we have a situation coming up, folks. This is kind of what I'm getting at in this video, actually, is we have a situation coming up. And I want to know from the crowd, what do you have to say? But as hard as this is at this moment in time, as hard as this is in some ways to say, I think that it's important that people go out and vote Republicans into office, because only with a Republican mandate can you or me or anyone with any kind of sense have a voice and be able to push the mandate and push the narrative. You're not going to get your narrative pushed by the left. Andrew Yang, anybody on the left, they have shown who they are. Andrew Yang, you're such a disappointment, you make me sick. MMT for pandering to the left, you make me sick. MMT should be with Trump right now. It's ridiculous why they would not be educating Republican, conservative, moderate-leaning, center-leaning people right now. Instead, they're pandering to the communists. MMT and Yang is pandering to the communists. It's absolutely treason and sedition in your face. And it's ridiculous. So, hit me up in the comments. Beat me up with the likes and dislikes. Whatever. I don't care. That's not whatever I've been about. It's about, can we rationally look at the overall? Can we take into account the big picture? There's going to be a Republican or a Democrat that gets voted into office in every state, in every mayor, in everything, right? It's not going to be Jesse Ventura on an independent party. It's not going to be anybody else on Kanye West. It's not going to be them. I'm sorry. It's not. So whoever thinks that is not. It's not. So here's your choices. And where can you push your voice? Where can you say, this is what I think, and this is my idea of patriotism, and it's about this, that, the other, the rule of law, God, accountability for government, not being abused by cops, not being abused by a government, and not having lawlessness and communists and freaks that want to take over. Look at the economy, if nothing else. Do you think maybe that it could be different if there was the left in charge right now? Because all it would take, the economy is something that can be told to you or sold to you at any given moment as, oh, whoops, bad news, or hey, look, good news. That's what MMT should be out there sort of explaining. And I'm just saying that at any time, Volcker or some asshole could take over the situation, or there could be a president who decides that it would be better for him politically and for us with Deagle Forecast 2025 in order to really cause destruction and strife and pestilence and death. Let's crash the economy twice as bad as Volcker did, twice as bad as they did when they sucked the dollars out in 28, 29, right? They could do that. They could cut off credit anytime. They could make interest rates anything they want anytime. Trump has got us at 0% borrowing and talking about negative borrowing. That makes sense. I know to you it doesn't, maybe, but that makes sense, and that is enough. If you want to talk about everyday life and everyday feeling good and being able to go out and buy the things you need and survival, it's Trump borrowing at 0% or less, and everybody just living under that prosperity. Okay, it's not Ron Paul talking about how, oh, we're just kicking the can down the road and we're going to get kicked in the balls twice as bad next time. No, Ron Paul and your chicken little nonsense. No, Ron Paul, you were wrong in 2007, you were wrong in 2008, and you're wrong in 2020. I wish you would shut up with that Ayn Rand tired out nonsense bullcrap. And MMT, shame on you for not coming over to Trump with the Trump bucks with the 0% borrowing and saying, see, this is what we're talking about. Because you have a perfect opportunity in the situation we are in now to appeal to the right people instead of this green shit. Yeah, we can buy green carbon credits with MMT. We can make green everything. Shut up about the green shit and start getting with people who actually can rationalize a thought. You're worried about green shit right now? You know, Greta Thunberg and the green shit is yesterday's tired out bullcrap narrative from the left anyway. What's taken over the left right now? Civil unrest, rioting, Soros, Antifa, attacks on churches. That's what you're about, MMT? That's who you're getting with? Nope. Sorry. Big mistake. So, anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm just saying, right now today, I could change tomorrow. Maybe you can convince me in the comments. But I'm just saying that in order for us to have a chance and move forward as humanity in some kind of peacemaking semblance, rational thoughts, unemotive reactions to everything, you've got to put Republicans, conservatives in office and then demand that they proceed forward in that direction. And I'm sorry, Tim Pool, no, trying to make Republicans get innocent babies killed is not where we're going. He had a video recently today or whatever about how great it is that today's Republicans are yesterday's liberal, and that it won't be long until Republicans are all pro-choice. Get the F out, dude. That's disgusting. And shame on you. Shame on you, Tim Pool, that can't wait to save every life of every criminal. Everyone who's done something disgusting and despicable who gets on death row. And I'm not saying that there isn't sometimes mistakes, but come on, man. To get on death row, how did you get there? You got there accidentally? Really? Really, Tim Pool? Well, guess who didn't get in the womb of their mother accidentally? It's the innocent baby that you want to kill, Tim Pool. And I'll leave it at that. Just let me know in the comments. Are you voting for Trump or are you going to vote? I mean, a year ago I was saying no confidence. So obviously I shift with the tide. But right now I can't even imagine appeasing the left. I can't even imagine having somebody on the left. I don't care if it's Biden or whoever. I don't care who it is. If they're in office, can you imagine? Can you imagine what would happen? All the validation they would get, all the cancellation that Trump would get, all the disregard you would get, and the persecution that would be coming. Can you imagine? So that's it. God bless.